Well, in 2003, we saw a number of individuals who were struggling to find employment, who really didn't have any options. And more individuals that were coming into our career centers had records or had some involvement and were really not able to find employment. So we began to work specifically with that group. The coordinator of this program was an individual who already worked for us, but before that he had come from the community. He was well known. He was the guy that would go to midnight basketball to work with kids, to do whatever it took to get somebody in. So his experience, his contacts really helped us launch this in a way that was probably easier than it would have been if we just had to start from scratch.
The Next Step program is a second chance program to help ex-offenders get jobs, training, education advancement, and eventually to turn their life around.
He now goes into prisons and makes contact there. He works with judges, he works with corrections, he works with police departments.
Glenn Young is my job navigator, and he is someone is very special to me. I recruited him when I visited one of the prisons. He was there giving a motivational speak to young kids.
I walked in their shoes. I've been where they've been. I've made some mistakes in my life where prison was a part of my life, but I rehabilitated my life, got some training, got some development, got a full pardon. I don't have a record now, but my passion to that world, where I came from, is still thriving, it's still alive, and my heart beats for them. So, I can feel what they feel.
Everybody had a little hand in helping to mold this thing in the beginning. And over the years, we found that more and more employers and more individuals were coming to us, and we were having a greater and greater success. People who are coming out of prison, for the most part, have nothing, really have absolutely nothing. They have no documentation, they have no license, at least if they had one, it's expired. Too often, people are just released in the past, nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. They need to get a place to stay, they need to get transportation.
If you go back 20 years, most of these individuals that were being released from incarceration were just being released on the streets.
So we see release 20 years ago on the green with a clear plastic bag and sweatpants and sweatshirt that just came out of jail with.
When I got out, I had absolutely nothing. I had clothes that don't fit me. I had a penitentiary ID that is accessible to law enforcement, but I can't gain a hotel room with it. I had a little thin windbreaker. I had shoes that were just way too small.
Just imagine you coming out after a long time, you don't know where you are, you don't know what services are out there for you. And the government then expects that people will make it on their own. And it's not like that. I mean, you get your survival instincts. You need a place to sleep, you need to eat.
They're dropped outside, and they don't know no place to stay, no place to live, no food, no nothing.
So, it's like, you're gonna have to sleep out in the cold.
What are they gonna do to eat? I don't have no money, I don't have no nothing.
What are you gonna do to survive? I mean, you're gonna end up doing what you know.
I know crime, I know drugs, I know violence. You know what I mean? I didn't want to get back into it, but I mean, if you're hungry, you're gonna eat. I can easily, go hit someone in the head with something and take their money, to get what I need.
You resort to crime, and oftentimes that leads people back to incarceration.
I feel like they set me up for failure because they put me out here with no resources whatsoever.
So, that's dangerous.
We did a kind of a really down and dirty survey on recidivism. In Connecticut, 2 years, 44% are rearrested. 3 years, it's 50%. And 5 years, it's even more than that.
And a lot of that is due to lack of resources. Lack of resources when they're being arrested, lack of resources and support when they're entering into the criminal justice system on many different levels, but particularly once they're becoming incarcerated. And then as individuals are looking to be released from jail, how are we supporting them as a community, as a society?
The important thing for us as a government is to ensure that people have the right resources when they come out of incarceration so that they can reintegrate in society and have tangible opportunities to be successful and turn around their lives. We learned through our past experiences that people returning from home from incarceration, they need to access resources right away on the day that they're released. Otherwise, the chances that they will turn around their lives and find those resources on their own is very little. So through data, we saw that around 80% of people have substance abuse history. Around 60% have mental health illness history, and around 35% have a medical condition that's chronic and they need access to nursing care. We also saw that about 64% of people do not have a GED or high school diploma. So it's huge. I mean, the needs that people have is huge. We need to ensure that they have access to mental health treatment, that they have access to substance abuse treatment, that they have access to employment opportunities, to workforce development, that they can get their GED or high school diploma. Those things are much needed.
It's housing, it's jobs, it's transportation. It's things that you and I take for granted.
We have a great partnership with the police, with corrections, with the city, with other nonprofit providers.
The purpose of the Reentry Welcome Center is to give individuals who have either returned from incarceration recently or returned at some point in their life and are hitting barriers, to give them opportunities. It starts pre-release. It starts when an individual is incarcerated. If they are speaking to their reentry counselor and it surfaces that they're going to have some issues upon release, they will ask for a referral, and then upon release, they are sent here. The Department of Corrections drops them off at our doorstep for them to receive a warm handoff to service providers.
We have what we call a handoff, not a drop-off, but a handoff, meaning that those individuals that are coming out, that are being returned, they're handed off to a case manager that's ready to work with them directly and apply them to different resources that are available within the city of New Haven.
It's also a place where it can find services that are often scattered across town and hard and difficult to access. So it's a one-stop shop.
So that everyone who's coming home gets to go to one place and has resources right there. Having groups that are all out there with the same mission and are available to an individual at the same time or within a short amount of time is very important to success.
And all the case managers come together to talk about the hard cases.
The reentry care team is a team that meets on a bi-weekly basis. It's a team of service providers, including the Workforce Alliance, to triage issues, to discuss new opportunities, and to work on ways to help our clients more and avoid service gaps.
How to ensure that people get coordinated services and ensure that they have what they need to be successful.
Now we have a place to go. There's a triage there. We're part of that group that is working with the individuals.
It's all about collaboration. And one of the things that we practiced here in Project More was come together with different organizations throughout the city as far as collaborating.
We don't want to work in silos. We want to work together and collaborate together in order to get things done properly.
Collaboration is absolutely key.
There needs to be a group of resources that is centered around reentry because everybody needs something different. No one department can do it all.
We have at least 10 to 15 different neighborhood organizations that we work with directly.
Every program can work together and be a spider web of each other. You come to my program and I'm not the right fit, and I know that I have this program right here, and we're working together.
It's amazing when they come together, all these programs, and are able to coordinate the services. It makes a huge difference. So the Reentry Welcome Center partners with Next Steps, which is a workforce development program from the Workforce Alliance, which is an amazing program. They work with people to help them get soft skills and help them get hard skills at the same time, to ensure that they have access to jobs with livable wages that can really turn their lives around and help them reintegrate society, help them support their families.
We have a pre-release initiative that we started in 2015, getting to individuals about 2 or 3 months before they're released, starting to work on getting the documentation that they need, starting to have a plan.
Next Steps program is providing individuals with training prior to release to help them with their job search when they are released from incarceration.
It's critically important for somebody to have a plan and a place to go before they are released.
The pre-release is setting an individual up to know what to expect, to set out some guidelines of this is what is going to happen, to give some mental health treatment or evaluations prior so that upon coming out, knowing what your triggers are, being able to have you as successful as possible, but also what job skills can you have before coming out so that you're better set up to be matched with an employer upon release.
So when they come out, they have a plan, they have a place to go, they have individuals that have already met with them pre-release.
And I think it helps an individual feel supported on both ends. Knowing that you're coming up to be released, you're not feeling like I'm just gonna be thrown back out there, because what if someone has been in for 10 years? Things have changed wildly in 10 years.
What we're seeing is that we're having greater success in getting that person who we've worked with pre-release, as opposed to someone who comes in off the street, getting that person employed and having better retention. And as one of our case managers in the Next Step program says, we want people to believe in themselves when they leave, right? We want them to have the confidence to interview well, get a job, and keep a job.
It is imperative that people return to the workforce. Giving someone the opportunity to have a job does several things. First of all, it gives them a sense of connection back into the community. Secondly, it gives them the tools necessary to sustain their home. Housing, like I said, is a big issue, and if you can't pay for housing, it's very hard to manage other issues such as substance abuse and/or mental health. For individuals to reunite with their families is imperative, and a job helps them do all of that because now they are providing resources for their families.
Soft skills are much needed. People, they're institutionalized. So when they come out, they need to understand how the world works. It's a different world.
They showed me how to live different. They showed me how to walk different. They embraced me with learning skills. And now I'm getting more comfortable with doing these things.
A person coming out of incarceration, living in prison, is a whole different world. Then they come out to the world and they have to deal with this world that's not what they was used to. Life skills is very important, showing them how to navigate, how to catch a bus, showing them how to work a cell phone, showing them how to work an email, showing them how to just talk, have regular English, how life is on a conventional level.
I didn't understand what these guys was trying to tell me about life skills. Life skills, guys, is all about changing for the better. Changing for the better meaning, I start with the basics. We talking reading, writing. We talking being able to communicate. We talking being able to go out in the field and deal with the people. You have to learn how to humble yourself. You have to be willing to accept good criticism. You have to be willing to listen and be able to take advice and just take notes and learn things that you really don't know nothing about. Like being in the office setting was very hard for me because I wasn't familiar with it. And they showed me these things, these tools that they embraced. We're talking about teaching people how to use computers. We're talking about skills that's a necessity today. The normal things in life, they basically give you the basics, and then they help you get to the next level.
There's two dates that we can't change. We can't change the day we was born, and we can't change the day we died, but we can change what happened in between. And I want to change what happened in between your life.
I said, you know what? Well, I'm gonna do everything I can to change my past to a brighter future, because I lived that life where I was hopeless. Once these guys got in my life, it wasn't nothing nobody could tell me that I couldn't do. I work at the Whitney Center today. I'm a utility supervisor. I've been there now for 2 years. Excellent job, excellent community. I get a lot of thank yous and appreciations, and you know what? I'm okay today.
We have people also that have gone through the Next Steps programs and have gotten their CDL license, have gotten construction jobs, have gotten into different industries that help them get paid what they need to survive.
We have found a federal program that provides bonding for ex-offenders. So there are a lot of driving jobs, truck driving jobs out there, but if you can't get bonded, you can't get the job. And so we're able to do that.
The position that I applied for was litter driver, basically cleaning the parking lots overnight, okay? The way that it was described to me was you are working 8 to late. So basically, you're not done until you're done. The job involved, we're driving a sweeper truck. It's a regular box truck with a vacuum underneath and a broom on the left side. We were also given a hand picker and a hand blower. That's to go to the places that the truck can't go onto. You hand pick the grass lines and the wood lines. You blow off the walkways and then you sweep it up with the truck. So basically, it's an outside job. You're literally more out of the truck than you're in the truck. You know, you're doing a lot of jumping in and out. It's a lot of walking. I grew in a job because every time someone looked at me or they say, "Oh, you're training Tasha today," I always got that look like, "What's she doing here?" type look. I was the only female. These guys, if they give 100, I gotta give 150, you know? So I believe that was my motivator, was like, you know what I mean? Come on, I can do this better than you. That was my thing. And the great thing about it, they grew. I literally was getting a raise every year. It was acknowledgement.
Having a job makes you independent and feel good about yourself.
So I rose up in the ranks, and now I'm the manager. I started with litter driver position, and went to lead driver and assistant manager, and I've been the manager now for 3 years.
You have to start someplace, and many of them want to start, but they don't know how. So we show them how to do it.
I was getting turned down for jobs, and I just felt very scared. I was nervous. I had a baby I had to take care of. I had a family at home. I didn't know what to do, honestly.
And I really thought my life was over. I didn't know where I would go from there. I didn't think I was going to be able to finish school. I didn't think I was going to be able to keep working. I didn't know what I was going to do with my baby,
And I ended up finding the Next Step program. And I got in contact with Glenn Young. And ever since then, we've been working through the pandemic and everything. I got a job a week after we started working together. He would talk me through it. There was times when I'm like, I can't do this. I won't get the job. I won't. And he, Kelsey, don't give up, don't give up. He helped me set up a resume. He helped me get reference letters. I needed somebody to, guide me to put the packet together. I didn't know to do that.
I just had to put everything together. I have to finish school. I have to take care of my baby. It's all up to me now. She needs me.
I've been through the struggle. I know what it is to have. I know what it is to have not. And my thing is to stay afloat, I have to walk different and stay grounded. And it's a hard process. It's not easy.
Change your attitude from negative to positive. Hold up your head and speak to people and answer questions, tell the truth. And if you do that, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be on the road to recovery and become a success story.
I know that I worked my butt off. I gave more than 100% every time I punched in. Every time I came in, I made sure that I did my best. It just felt awesome to earn it and know you earned it and you did all the right things to get it. It was great. It was, I think, the first real accomplishment, honest accomplishment,
Every person that walk away from the program, we want you to come back and speak to the next group behind you.
I go in and I speak. You should see their faces when I tell them I started off as a litter driver. Now I got a crew of 16 guys working underneath me, man. They can't believe it. And this is where I started, in this room right here, So it's awesome. It's awesome getting the feedback, and it's also giving back, let them know that this actually works.
Today was the first day I gave back to the class. I've never been in that conference room before, so it was nice to see everybody in person again. This is my first time ever talking to I just want to say thank you to Glenn Young and Freeman Holloway. I don't know where I would be without them. I felt very accomplished, very proud of myself, because of everything I've been through, and I made it, I didn't, when I thought I wouldn't make it, I did. I graduated with my associate's degree in May 2021. I got my CNA license May of 2021. I'm going to University of Bridgeport for my bachelor's degree, looking to go to school to be a nurse. Life is great. Right now I'm currently working at Yale New Haven Hospital. I'm very proud I was able to move out, move on, and get a new job and be successful for my daughter. And of course, it's not the end. I have plenty, I'm only 22 years old. I have a whole future ahead of me.
When we started this program, we had maybe 4 or 5 employers and about 20 participants. Now we've placed well over 2,000 people in employment. More and more employers are willing to take a chance on hiring an ex-offender.
Now, when we went to Next Steps, the candidates that they sent, immediately you can see these people were authentic about their commitment to using their second chance that they've received. These people were trained better and they were prepared to enter the workforce. They interviewed well, they were able to look you right in the eye, and you can tell that commitment to wanting to be employed was there. You could see they genuinely wanted to be part of our company. The people that we brought on so far are excelling. They're doing everything that we had hoped to get out of them. They have a real authentic commitment to bettering themselves.
Gavin came in through our recruiter, Katie, and I interviewed him for probably 25, 30 minutes. Thought he was a fantastic individual.
Great guy. Here's somebody who came in that day one, came in, interviewed very well, was very committed to bettering himself, taking advantage of this second chance he's been given into the workforce.
Went through training, was an all-star in the class.
And it's really been enjoyable working with him. He's pleasant. You could tell he's somebody that's learned from his life experiences, and he's gotten a do-over and really appreciates every opportunity that's been given to him.
We put him out in the field, and from day one have gotten great reviews from the supervisors and crews he's been working with.
Big change from 20 years ago. We would have shied away from hiring somebody with a criminal record. Now we've learned that there's a real well of people that you can go to that is a real committed workforce and great opportunities as a business to grow and build on a community.
We need a labor pool, and it's a good resource to get quality people in the door.
The Next Steps program has been a bridge between this pool of people and ourselves, that once they cross that bridge, they've been trained and polished, so you would say, to come in and really have somebody that we could use and build upon.
Today, if I had 5, 6 more people to put in the field, I could keep them all busy. And our business just keeps growing, and that number is going to keep increasing.
With Next Steps, it's a win-win program for us because the employee gets to win by getting this new opportunity and expand ourselves, and we win as a company because we get these great employees that we can build our company on.
So the more people you send in the door, the more people we'll have in the field.
The outcome of this is not only are we helping the individual, we're helping their family, we're helping Connecticut employers meet their staffing needs, and people are becoming productive taxpayers, and and there's less crime. We work very closely with the court system. We work very closely with the police department. We get referrals from them, so we're a resource to the system, not only to the individual.
We as society are releasing people without any means to provide for themselves or their families. All we're asking for them to do is to go back to the ways that they knew they used to be able to do it in the past. So it's vital. Without a job, how can you provide? Without a job, you can't get to that next step. Without a job, you end up doing the things that potentially got you into jail and got you arrested. When we as a police department continuously rearrest the same people, all it does is show us that something in the system is broken. We want individuals to be successful. We don't want to keep rearresting individuals. So we need to fix it. This is a way that we are moving to be able to fix this.
We've looked at the recidivism numbers, very preliminary data, but we're seeing much better results, fewer and fewer people going back to prison. or being rearrested in the time period that happens for most other individuals.
The police want to engage positively with the community. It's our job to obviously to prevent crime. That's one of our main focuses. But individuals who are being successful are not out there committing crimes. It's safer for the police officers, it's safer for the community, and it's promoting public safety.
The city really envisions being a place where our returning residents can have the opportunity to turn their lives around, reunify with their families, and be successful and not go back to incarceration.
To keep the program alive, it takes money and it takes people. And so far over the years, we've managed to do that through federal grants, and when we haven't been able to do that, we found other ways to fund the program because we feel very strongly that this is a worthwhile program. We've done a lot of good for a lot of people, and we want to keep it going.
I mean, I would have never made it where I am if it wasn't for the program, honestly.